Hello, everybody. Hey, welcome in to the OnlyBets Sports Betting Podcast alongside my co-host SternBets, DrewDelucchi. I am Prince of Picks. We have got an excellent show lined up for you guys today. We got a lot of sports taking place across the landscape of the sports world. We've got, of course, Champions League going on here in just a little bit. So you're going to want to head over to our Champions League podcast if you're going to look for information about that, where we did a detailed breakdown of every single Champions League match from today. So be sure to tune into that if you're interested in some Champions League coverage. But other than that, we've also got Olympics today. We've got other matches as well in the soccer world, some domestic league matches going on in some of the top leagues. So we'll be giving a few bets for those. And then, of course, we got college basketball as well as other sports that we'll be covering. Maybe give you some baseball insights as we're nearing the opening day here for the MLB season. So a lot of sports here coming up on the horizon. Of course, we've got in the soccer world, we've got MLS kicking off this Saturday. The American League, of course, the number one domestic soccer league in America. So looking forward to covering that. Maybe we'll do some kind of a special podcast or something. Got to get with Motion, see if our schedules can line up here. And maybe we can do something special for that. But in any case, excited to get into the picks today. But real quick, guys, you guys know how it is here. We got to get into some official business. And as cheesy as it might sound, you know what? This is the only way that we're going to get this podcast available to more listeners and grow this channel. So please do us a solid. Give us a quick rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Again, it's the only way we're going to get this out to more people. You guys have been awesome in your support, awesome with the downloads, and the listens have been incredible. We mentioned that every show because we don't want to underestimate just how valuable that has been. So again, we greatly appreciate it. And if you can, please, real quick, rate, review, subscribe. It's all it takes to really help us a lot here in terms of growing this channel. So with that being said, let me go ahead and pass it over to my co-host, Mr. SternBets, Mr. Mosh. What's up, bro?
Hey, we're doing really well. I'd like to start off each day with a recap, good or bad, of what we did yesterday. But by golly, we had two really nice days in a row. We went 6-2 the day before. And yesterday, I'm still tallying it up because I don't even know how much you won in the Champions League yesterday. All I know is that I ended on a very positive note on my bankroll. Personally, in Champions League picks, I went 2-1. Really disappointed that Benfica couldn't get just one goal. That was the only pick that I didn't hit yesterday. And then in my other picks for the day, Canada and USA women's teams, they both sailed under the 7.5 total. So that was a nice cash early in the morning. Or I guess it was really through the day, but it started early in the morning. I lost on the hook on my 3-leg college basketball parlay. Charleston Southern won by 9, not 9.5. That was annoying. But LAFC destroyed yesterday. The team total over 1.5 came in what, the 6th minute?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was pretty quick. Wow, didn't see that one coming. I'll be honest. Me and Stern were. I don't want to say we're on opposite sides of that one, but I was way more apprehensive about just how LAFC would fare in Honduras there. And traditionally speaking, MLS teams have struggled when they go to South Central American venues. So I wasn't too far off base there with my assessment, but wow, did LAFC put it on them quick, fast, and in a hurry. That thing was over in about 20 minutes. I mean, that crowd, that stadium was packed, and me and Stern were talking about it, texting about it during the match. That place was absolutely packed, and when you look at that in comparison to the first game, which was in Canada with the Atletico Ottawa and Nashville, there was nobody there. So it was like such a stark difference in terms of the environment and the atmosphere there. And those fans were like ready to go. I mean, they were really intense to begin the game, and about 20 minutes in, it was just silent as a mouse. I mean, that place was completely dead. LAFC just took the life out of that game, and maybe it's a thing to come. Things to come here for LAFC again with Bawanga and Son up top. That's a lethal dynamic duo that I think is going to wreak havoc again this season in the MLS as we do a little foreshadowing there.
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting duo. And I kind of alluded to that. And really, that play was dependent on them playing. Thank God that they played because it was just a masterful performance. We were talking about how MLS teams and teams really generally outside of Europe look a little bit shaky in their passing game. Just not crisp, not smooth, too many turnovers. But they looked amazing last night. They really did. Nashville did not look as smooth as LAFC did, not even close. And maybe that was some of the preseason jitters of getting into your first real game when you're not really in the practice, like you were talking about, which is a valuable insight. But my God, that was just a beatdown. And then another beatdown that happened was from our main man, Drew, Michigan. I don't think we sweat that -1 or -1.5 in the slightest. Drew, tell us about that game. Come on in.
What I tell you guys, metrics doesn't define how good Michigan is. They're the one team. I like. It's just one of those things where I. So it was funny. I was telling my Discord with that. I was like, I really hope Purdue, scores first so I can bet Michigan half live. They went up 7-2, got Michigan at like +110. And then Michigan they won the half by like 16. And then Purdue made it a little close at the end, but that's what Michigan, these top teams do, right? They'll let the foot off the gas and like, okay, we'll try again. You know what I mean? This is one of those things that will go into the metrics. Like if you think about it, it's like, oh, Purdue made it close no, they didn't. That's the thing. Michigan will like turn the gas off, and that's something you can't really factor in. They're the one team that I think that's in the only team in the nation that can pick their number. And they're just that scary of a team. They have one loss. Every team gets one loss, right? Like I know they lost to Wisconsin at home. That one game, that happens. We saw Kentucky lose to Indiana with Anthony Davis a while ago. Still one of the greatest shots ever. So, yeah, usually undefeated teams don't win the championship. We've seen that. It's good to get a loss. But I don't know if this Michigan team personally loses again. The only time I can see them lose before the tournament is in the conference tournament because they know they can do whatever they want the rest of the way, and they're in the tournament. They're probably going to get a 1 seed no matter what happens. So, yeah. I love this team a lot, and we have a treat this Saturday with them non-conference game in Duke versus Michigan,
Ooh, that's going to be really fun.
a
I'm
neutral
looking
site
forward
too.
to watching that.
The line
Oh, that's
open to a
beautiful.
-3 Michigan.
Oh, that's interesting. Do you have any leans in that game? Do you have any thoughts before looking into the stats?
So something I will say real quick, guys, about non-conference games, I'm always scared to bet them. I'm not saying teams don't care because every team cares to win. But if you think about it at the end of the day, of course, there's number one overall seeds, right? There's like, oh, you can there's 4 1 seeds, and there's like, oh, they get the number one overall seed and stuff. But at the end of the day, this doesn't affect their conference record, doesn't affect them from winning the conference, right? And I'm not saying, like I said, they won't try, but it's not going to be the same, may not be the same intensity that you're used to seeing from like a conference game. It's going to be on a neutral site and stuff like that. And I don't know if Michigan or Duke are going to come out stagnant to start in that aspect. And it being non conference, we don't know what could happen. Like we saw Louisville at Baylor. That was like a weird game that happened. We saw, I think it was like Virginia and Ohio State. That was a weird game. So, if I had to make a lean personally on a neutral site, I would probably, ride Michigan. I think honestly it's hard because Duke's a juggernaut at 2 as well, but I think Michigan is the better team. I think they're 1 and 2 in a class of their own, but I would be curious to see how the over under moves. That would probably be my play in that
Nice. Yeah, definitely going to
because I
be
can see a
looking
lot of
forward to
points in
that.
that game.
Yeah, I'm circling that. And real quick, because I do see a live betting opportunity here for our listeners. We're talking about it pre-show. One of my plays last night, got to follow my premium articles. Actually, that one was free. If it's going out before the show, I usually give it out for free on Substack. Czech Republic is playing Canada. Czech Republic went up 2-1 in the first period, and I think there's a lot of value in grabbing Canada money line parlayed with the USA money line later today. Switzerland's Kevin Fiala was taken off the ice in a collision against Canada the other day, and their offensive ceiling just plummets. And in general, when you're playing USA or Canada, you really have to play more of a defensive mindset. Otherwise, the talent from the USA and Canada's offensive guys are just too much to handle. So I think that the slower pace tends to lean even more into Canada and USA's strengths. I definitely think that if you can get a money line price at around -120, -125, parlaying Canada and USA in Olympic men's hockey, that is a fantastic look, but that price is not going to stay forever. And I am a little over leveraged there already. I have Canada -1.5. I have Canada on the 60-minute money line. And then just real quick, while I'm in the ice hockey world, I do like the USA 60-minute money line at minus 145. I did take it with a boost, full disclosure, but I do love the price there, and I would still put a full unit on that as well. This team is just, their underlying metrics isn't even close to anybody else. And like I said, Switzerland's missing some key pieces there. So good luck to them. I don't think it's
Oh,
going to go very well later today.
oh yeah. Actually, can I say something on that game, the
Yeah, of
Sweden
course, bro.
USA game? Something I noticed, and I noticed when I pay attention to like regular, like the regular NHL hockey, is I like to look at the goal scorers, and usually Vegas will tell you something, and this will tell you when a line is kind of faulty, even at -1.5. So the top 10 goal scorer odds, only 3 of them are Sweden players. So that tells you right there that, in my personal opinion, if you look at it, that USA is probably going to win by more than 1 goal, if that's the odds.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I think that the -1.5 was at like -110 or something like that. It wasn't great juice. And I just decided that if they're going to win by -1.5,
Oh
we
yeah,
might as well just take the 60-minute money line at -145.
I didn't see
Um,
that. That's really good value.
Yeah, it was. I posted it out as soon as I could because the lines were moving quickly. I saw on, I think it was BetMGM was -155. On Bet365, it was -140, -145. I almost got it at -140, and then the line moved as I was putting the bet in. Oh, okay. And then real quick, we have, I hope it's okay from Squishy that I'm giving this out, but I really, really like this. He has Boldy from the USA team to score later today at +300. That's a little sprinkle that I'm playing as well. He already hit 1 out of the 3 goal scorers that he had today. 1 out of 1 in the game going off right now. Pasternak scored, so definitely some value there. But yeah, let's bring it into the other sports unless anyone has anything else to add in Olympics or hockey, or I guess in cold sports in general.
No, just a question, just to clarify for the listeners here. So, your live bet right now, you're looking at Canada on the 60-minute money line, right? And then parlayed with USA on the regular money line. Is that
No,
correct?
you can get the full game money line on
Okay.
Canada parlayed with the USA money line full game at -120 right now, and I think that's excellent value. I had played pre-show Canada's 60-minute money line parlayed with USA's full money line. That was a play that I gave out last night, so I definitely love the value now that you can just get the full game money line without having to worry about them getting it done within regulation.
Got it. I literally just played that live, so there you go. Pays to listen live, right, guys? But while we're on hockey here, real quick, let me give a quick recap. We went 3-0 here over on the VIP channel in the Kazakhstan Premier Hockey League. So we're in the words of a Borat, very nice. Great hit there for us today in the Kazakhstan Hockey League. And then yesterday, of course, we were talking about Champions League. What a banger of a match that was in that first game between Juve and Galatasaray. And for those of you who listened to the Champions League podcast, that was the game that I was the most bullish on. I said that it would be the banger of all matches. I thought it was going to be the most entertaining, and I think that's probably going to hold true here. I mean, we had 7 goals total in that game, so I can't imagine we're going to see a higher scoring game than that one. But I mean, that thing cashed. We had over 1.5 in that one as a parlay piece. That hit in the first 20 minutes, so there was a virtually sweat free on that one. And then, of course, the other leg to that parlay was Dortmund draw no bet. Dortmund, of course, we had mentioned in the pregame show, Dortmund, a great team at home, really tough to beat with that yellow wall and their fan support there. Just a pretty dominant team at home, and that showed to be true here. Atalanta really didn't offer much in that game, so pretty sweat free parlay that we hit there yesterday in the Champions League. So I'm looking forward to seeing if we can do it again today in these games. But again, I'm not going to cover that here. If you guys want to know those picks, you can listen to our Champions League podcast that should be available now on the channel.
All right, but while we're still in soccer, why don't you give us your soccer play for today? Because I think it's a really sharp look in the Arsenal game. Their defense is just ruthless against mid-tier teams.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually I got 2 plays here today in soccer. So I'll go ahead and we'll talk about the first one, and I'll get your thoughts on it, and then I'll move into my second one. So first up here, we are going to the EPL. We do have one match in the English Premier League today, 3 p.m. Eastern kickoff, where we have Wolverhampton, going to be hosting Arsenal in this one. This is a matchup between first and last place. And they are first and last place in every single metric that you can think of here. This is just an absolute mismatch between two sides here in different directions. When we're looking at Arsenal here, money line and a clean sheet has hit in 4 of their last 5 for Arsenal, and it's also hit in 5 of the last 7 head-to-head against Wolves. So Arsenal winning against Wolves and also not allowing them to score has been a common theme here recently for Arsenal. They also come into this one with the number 1 rated defense in the EPL. They've allowed the fewest goals in the entire league. Meanwhile, Wolves, on the other side, they have scored the fewest amount of goals in the EPL. So Wolves are destined for relegation. There's really no hope for them to climb out of that. So they're pretty much in a free fall here. And just kind of preparing for second division football next season. So not much to play for them here. I think this is a smash spot for Arsenal. I am afraid to take any kind of a spread here because I could see maybe like a 1-0, 2-0 type of victory here for Arsenal. Maybe they get an early goal and kind of shut things down and just just kind of preserve the win that they are tend to do that at times. So I'm going to stay away from any spreads, but my official play for this one's going to be Arsenal money line and to hold a clean sheet here. So basically, the way you would play this in your books is you would go to your SGP, you would look at Arsenal money line and Wolves under 0.5 goals, and you're going to get that parlay at plus 105.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I think it was just on MGM, Arsenal to win to 0, and that's what I took there. Yeah, Drew, what's up?
I actually have a quick question because I'm of course learning as well. What's the difference between on the books team to keep a clean sheet and to win to 0? Because I saw to win to 0 is -110, to keep a clean sheet is -130 for Arsenal. Does that mean that if it's 0-0, technically it would hit, and to win to 0 means they have to at least score a goal? Is that
So
what that
to
means?
so the difference is to win to 0 means not only do they have to keep a clean sheet, but they also have to win. Whereas if you're just playing to keep a clean sheet, it can end 0-0, 0-0, and you'll win the bet.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate
Yep.
that.
Yep.
All right.
Absolutely.
I also actually had a question here. So not against Arsenal because I do see Arsenal's defensive metrics are incredible. They're just a suffocation team. They can lock down anybody. But in general, because I know that this was a rule that we kind of followed last year a little bit. And when I say we, buckets, I think it was on the early edge. Teams that are going into regulation, while they may not have a lot to play for, sometimes that means that they play like a freer form of soccer where they're not holding lines trying to compete for a tie anymore. They're just out there to score goals, to be exciting and have fun. Is that going to be holding true? Maybe not against Arsenal because they're a defensive juggernaut, but against other mid-tier teams, can we maybe even take advantage of that? Or is that something that was just like a one-off? Maybe it was a specific game or something last year that I'm remembering wrong.
No, so I think it's twofold, right? I think to your point, against mid-tier teams, yeah, I could see, maybe the potential of playing overs in Wolves games going forward because that does tend to be a trend here with teams that basically have nothing to play for, right? They're not going to play very cautious because what are you protecting? There's something to protect, so you might as well go for it. The problem is Wolves just are not a very talented team, and specifically they're not really a Premier League level side, and that's why they've struggled so much this season. So as open as they want to play, I would say if anything, you that gives you more of a reason to fade them and maybe play team total overs against them because I'm just not sure if they're talented enough themselves. Even if they want to play an attacking style, I'm not sure if they have the capabilities to put in multiple goals in a game. So, but to your point, I mean, I guess if you were looking at a betting angle going forward, yeah, I'd probably look at overs in Wolves games just in general, like game total overs going forward.
Okay, yeah, because like what you said is exactly what I was kind of referring to. Is even if they're not good enough to score, they're trying and they leave themselves open to counterattacks because they're in transition. They're not a great team anyway. And I think that is actually the exact angle that we were attacking last year. So I'm going to be excited to look at that moving forward. Anything else in the soccer world? Yeah, you have one more play, right?
Yeah, I do have one more play. And real quick, while we're talking about Wolves and the defensive side here, not only are they the worst offense, but they're bottom. Let's I'm looking here. I think they're like bottom three, bottom four here defensively as well. So I mean, they're not scoring goals and they're allowing a lot of goals. So take that for what you want. But yeah, team totals against them would probably be the way that I look at it going forward. But yeah, I got another play here. We're gonna go to another 3 p.m. Eastern kickoff here. We're gonna have a two pick parlay here, or two game parlay, I should say. So. First up, we're going to the Serie A here in Italy. I'm looking at the game between AC Milan and Como. This is the only match taking place in the Serie A today. But what we're looking at here is I like AC Milan in this one. With AC Milan, they've won 3 straight versus Como. And the over 1.5, excuse me, over 1.5 has also hit in all 3 head-to-head against Como. And then we're looking at, as a parlay piece here, I like AC Milan on a double chance here. So if we're looking at double chance Milan and plus over 1.5, that has hit in 7 of the last 9 for AC Milan. And then if we're just looking at over 1.5 for Como, that's also hit in 8 of the last 9 for Como. So we're tending to see 2+ goals here for both of these sides. But I just think AC Milan here, they have too much talent. They shouldn't be losing this game to Como. They really can't. If they want to have any chance to stay in the Serie A title race here, and they're chasing Inter Milan at the top. So if AC Milan want to have a realistic shot of having that go down to the wire here, they can't be dropping points against Como. So I like AC Milan here on a double chance. Just in case we do see a draw, they just I don't see them losing this one. But we're gonna take AC Milan double chance and over 1.5 goals. And then we're going to parlay that with another game here. This game's going to be in the Swiss Super League, so over in Switzerland. This is one of the highest scoring leagues in the world. We've talked about this before. We have a matchup today between Winterthur and St. Gallen. And I'm looking at goals in this one. Over 1.5 has hit in 9 of the last 10 head-to-head between these two sides. But maybe even more importantly here, it has also hit in a whopping 35 of the last 37 matches for Winterthur and 25 of the last 30 matches for St. Gallen. So safe to say we're going to see goals in this one. So I'm going to parlay that Winterthur St. Gallen over 1.5 goals. We're going to parlay that with AC Milan double chance and over 1.5 goals. And you can hit that at plus 107. Any thoughts from you on that, Stern?
Yeah, give me a second so I can put it in. I love it, man. I do. The Swiss Super League is quickly I'm discovering is a great league to be finding goals in, and you have introduced me to that. So thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's one of the more fun leagues to bet on. Both teams will score over 1.5, over 2.5. You usually see a lot of goals flying in the Swiss league. So right now, that's one of the higher scoring leagues. That's until the MLS starts, and then we'll get into that later. I'm excited about MLS. That's another high scoring league, but
yeah,
we'll get into that later.
You know what we need from you? I need a list, not every league in the world. Like I asked you last night, I'm like kind of jokingly, can you send me the list of like every single team, every single league and like their goal propensity and over under average? But if we can just put a list together for the day, right? So while we're live betting, we're working, we're looking at our phones, looking for an opportunity or a game to watch or whatever. Give us like 5 or 6 leagues, like the Swiss Super League, the English Premier League will probably be on it. The Polish league, like there's a few leagues out there where if there's no goals in the first 35 minutes of the game to like sprinkle a little bit on the half, and then if there's no goals by like the 65th, 70th minute, then we should definitely bet on goals on the whole game. Something like that. I would love to have like a live betting chart to kind of reference, so that I can keep them all straight.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I could definitely come up with something like that. I mean, I will tell you guys right now, just as a general foundation here, when we're looking at the top 5 leagues in the world, right? You're looking at EPL, Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga, and probably League One in France would probably be the 5th one there that you would consider to be top 5. Of those leagues, the Bundesliga is actually the highest scoring league. So I know we've talked about Bundesliga before. You specifically have talked about that. If you don't see a goal, for example, in a Bayern Munich game or or in a Frankfurt game or in even a Leverkusen game. There's a handful of teams in the Bundesliga where if you're not seeing a goal early, live bets are just cash cows in that league. So specifically, the Bundesliga is a really fun European top level league to bet on in terms of goals. Then, like we were speaking about last night, just to touch base on MLS again, MLS is also an excellent live betting league because goals are always coming. The defenses are pretty subpar in the MLS, so you'll see a lot of bad turnovers, a lot of bad giveaways, a lot of just terrible goalkeeping mistakes. You got damn near, what is it? I think it's 30 teams down in the MLS. So I'm gonna tell you right now, there's not enough quality players to fill those rosters with and make them all quality teams. So you're gonna get some guys that probably shouldn't be playing in the league that are playing. And those defensive errors just turn into tons of goal scoring opportunities. So live bets in MLS for sure is absolutely an excellent look that you guys are going to want to pay attention to. And all the games are on Saturday, so a lot of people are off Saturday, so that's probably it makes it a little bit easier to live bet, time wise too, in terms of the schedule and when it is and all that. So, but yeah.
Well, actually, while we're in the Bundesliga, you mentioned it. I wasn't going to bring it onto the show because I brought it in a few days ago, but I do have a best bet this Saturday. Bayern Munich is playing Eintracht Frankfurt, and I like the BTTS and over 2.5 goals. I did get this a little juiced at minus 135 over on MGM, but I do think that this ticks up and that this is a really good value. I expect a very high-paced transition game, just like we talked about. This is a classic Bundesliga game against two of the top teams, and neither defense really scares me at all. I can easily see 4 or 5 goals going on here, but any thoughts there on that one, or is that just like a pretty solid smash spot?
Yeah, it's a solid smash spot. As soon as you posted that, because I'll be honest, I didn't look at the schedule here for the weekend. So you had published that about a couple days ago, and I couldn't get to the books fast enough and play that because that's just for that price for those two teams who love to score and look, Bayern is not afraid of conceding goals as well. So I think that game's going to be a really entertaining back and forth, a lot of goals in that one. So absolutely love it, and you can't wait to see how that one plays out.
Yeah. I normally don't necessarily look ahead. It just I just happened to be scrolling. I saw it and I was like, gosh, no way. You're really gonna give that to me?
Yeah. Good thing you did because that's an unbelievable price, and I'm sure that price is going to change as it gets closer to kickoff and more people realize that those teams are playing each other because that's just going to be an awesome game.
Yeah. All right, let's go to college basketball unless we have anything else in the soccer world. We could recap maybe just one best bet in the day for
Sure, why not?
Champions League. All right,
Sure,
what do you
why
got for
not?
us? Give us one.
Yeah,
Give us
so
one and then we
yeah,
can look at the others.
all right, we'll give you guys one here. So I like Carabag here to score. That's going to be part of a parlay piece. So I think Newcastle on the road, they're just not the same team as they are at home. And Carabag can score goals at home. This is a team that consistently scores at home. So I like that as part of a parlay piece. And then the other side of that parlay, give me a second here. I'd have to pull it up. But I think my other part
Bodo
of
Glint
was Bodo Glimt.
over 2.
Was it
And you can get
over
this at
two?
over
Yes, yes, yes.
1.5 at
Thank
the
you.
same money
Yeah,
now.
you can get it. Okay, so if you can get it at the same money, then play over 1.5. I played this a couple days ago, so Bodo Winter over 2 is what I went with. Over 1.5, over 2, whichever one you prefer here. That parlay comes in at plus 103, but Bodo and Inter, I can't see less than 2 goals in that matchup. I mean, Bodo at home, their Champions League matches have averaged over 4 goals per game when Bodo was playing at home. So goals have just been flying in, whether it's for Bodo or for the other team. I do think Inter might be in a good spot here to put up a few goals. If you want to play team total Inter, I wouldn't hate it. But in terms of just being a parlay here, I think there's almost no chance that we're going to get under 2. This might end up being like a 2-unit play for me. I'm just really big on this one. Carabag to score and Bodo Inter. We'll say over 1.5 / 2 here at plus 103.
Yep, and I'm on the other side of this game. This was a fun conversation piece during the podcast. I love Inter Milan to win. I took their money line at minus 140, which is, again, a very juiced line. But their defense is unbelievable. Yes, I am a little bit worried about them going in the road and freezing temperatures on an AstroTurf field that is not going to be their regular playing field. A real field should be on grass, right? So I am a little bit worried. You talked about the bounces on the field, but I think that Inter Milan is too good. And just a little bit of a preview here, or I guess a post view. I do like them to win the entire thing at plus 2,500. I think that if there's any team that's going to be Arsenal, it's going to be with defense and one goal.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Like I said, I mean, Inter's I think they're flying under the radar right now. Getting them at plus 2,500 to win the whole thing. That's a pretty good value for them. So, yeah, I don't hate it at all. We'll see how it all plays out. But and then of course we do have Europa League and Conference League going on tomorrow. There's a lot more games in that. Eight games in the Europa, 8 games in Conference. So you got 16 matches total taking place all at the same time. So again, we've given free advertisement to Golazzo channel. Tomorrow is going to be a day you're going to want to tune into Golazzo channel because 16 matches all at once. They do a great job of kind of a whip around coverage. The red zone of red zone channel of Europa League and Conference League. So I'm definitely going to be tuned in to that as much as I can tomorrow. So
Yeah, let's do a
just to
show
kind of
tonight.
foreshadow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's
All
do a
right.
show tonight on that.
All
I'm
right.
going to jinx myself here, but I did go 4 out of 5 on my last Europa League picks.
Nice. There you go. Okay, so there you go. So even more of a reason to tune in. Let's see if we can go 5 for 5 this time. But
Rub it in, why don't
sweep
you?
the board. Sweep the board.
All right, Drew, let's bring you in. I see. I don't actually see any picks from you yet. What do you got for us today in college basketball? It's a very exciting slate. I do have a couple of picks here that I want to run by you. But I'm going to just hand the floor off to you, man. What do you got?
Oh yeah, I won't mention that one game you mentioned to me because I'll let you call that out first if that's
Oh
fine.
no, you go for it, man, and I'll just put in my
Okay.
pick at the end there. Yeah, you listen. You're
Oh
going to
yeah.
give way better analysis on
Yeah.
specifics than I ever will. So you go for it, man, and I'll
Yeah.
just pick in
Perfect.
at the end.
The first game I'll mention is actually a game later on in the slate. I believe because I'm Mountain Time right now, so it's 9 p.m. Eastern. It's Auburn at Mississippi State. Um, I feel like this is a great buy low spot for Auburn, but this is one of those where I'm not gonna actually take the spread. I'm going to do a better value, and it's been working out for us personally. The halftime, full time at plus 100 on DK, because Auburn, they've actually they haven't been as good as they were supposed to. Last game they lost to I believe it was Bama. And they didn't have Keyshawn Hall, but Keyshawn Hall's back. If you guys know Keyshawn Hall, he's probably the best player on the team. He's also one of the best players in the SEC. I still can't forget that Auburn is a team that went into Florida and just absolutely, basically dominated Florida like we haven't seen. They beat them by 9 points in the swamp, which is very hard to do. But unfortunately, though, they have lost 4 games in a row. They lost at Tennessee by 8. Oh no, they just played Arkansas. My bad. But they lost at home to Alabama by 4. They lost at home to Vandy by 8, and they lost to Arkansas when we were on Arkansas that game. And so they've lost 4 in a row. They need a win. They have been good on the road, and they're facing a team in Mississippi State who I particularly don't think is a great team. They're too one player centric base, while Auburn really isn't one player centric base. I don't know if you guys know who Hubbard is, but Hubbard. Basically, it's people make jokes. It's the Mississippi State Hubbards because that's where they rely on their offense. Mississippi State has not looked good this year. Personally, they've literally, in my personal opinion, have recently only beaten bad teams. So like they beat Ole Miss at Ole Miss, and you know how I feel about Ole Miss. I don't particularly think they're a good team. They don't have a good offense. We saw them when they faced Bama. They could have easily won that half. We were sweating the halftime full time. Somehow Bama came back and ended up winning by like 20. And then
Oh, I
another
remember
thing
that
is we
game. I had the
yeah, yeah.
under, and the under was sailing on by until Alabama just didn't let up shooting
Oh yeah.
randomized threes at the end of the last 2 minutes of that game. That was so frustrating.
Exactly, and we thought the halftime full was going to lose, but Ole Miss forgot how to score for 6 minutes. So, and I don't, and it's just one of those things where if you look before that game, they lost to Tennessee, they lost to Arkansas by 20, they lost to Missouri. They beat LSU. LSU is not a good team. They lost to Vanderbilt, lost to Texas A&M. They lost to Ole Miss. They lost to Alabama. They lost to Kentucky. So if you look at it, Mississippi State can't win home or away, And if you just look at Mississippi State's metrics, and Auburn's metrics are so weird on Ken Palm, because if you just click the conference stat button, their conference stats haven't been as great because they've been like so deflated from certain games they've been struggling with. But if you look at their like full season metrics, and they have a good strength of schedule, they're like well above. The biggest weakness though for Mississippi State, if you look at their metrics, is just their offense is absolutely atrocious. Auburn's defense hasn't been as great, but it's not as bad as Uh, Mississippi State's defense at the end of the day, and Auburn has a significant a rebounding advantage over them. Auburn does, and I just don't see this be anything but wire to wire. And I'd rather do that than lay the -5 than worry about a backdoor cover personally, because I think if Auburn's going to win this game, they cannot lose this half personally. Because if they lose this half, I think Mississippi State may run away with it. But I think that's better value in my personal opinion.
Absolutely excellent. So Auburn, halftime, full time, -110. DK.
Yeah. I was like a -110. I think it's like +100 somewhere, -105. Honestly, take the juice. You lose a little less. It's -110 is beautiful. And honestly, I love anything -110 or better. Yeah,
All right.
because I think that will raise personally. That's one of those I think will gain steam.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that too. It's a good time too.
'Cause the line opened at -4 on Fanatics. Now it's -5. So I see that Auburn starting to gain steam, and people are like starting to realize that number.
Nice. What else you got for us?
Yeah. So also, another one I'll mention is let me see. This one is one of those that I was going to look at more because they're technically not a ranked team, but Ole Miss is playing today, guys, and they're playing at Texas A&M. Right, at Texas A&M. You guys know how I feel. Ole Miss, Texas A&M. After starting off hot in the SEC, they've been kind of reeling away when they faced really good teams. They haven't been doing as well as they should. They got killed at Vanderbilt. They lost a heartbreaker to Missouri. They got killed by Florida, and they lost to Bama. They've lost 4 in a row, and I think this is a great bounce box spot for him at home. And like I said before, I don't think Ole Miss is necessarily a good team. They've only reached, I believe, 80 points or more once in conference play, and that was against Georgia, who doesn't have a great defense. But I like Texas A&M to personally route them. I personally am not going to probably take necessarily the -9. That's one against team, but I am looking at the halftime full time for that one. The halftime full time, I believe, is for that one is it's minus 200 right now, but I think Ole Miss may gain a little steam. So I'll let you know if I decide to pull that trigger.
Real quick, you can find this at
Yeah.
-160 on DK.
Yeah.
Is that a price
Yeah,
that you
I-
would play?
Honestly, that is a price I would personally play. I know it's a lot of juice, but I think that's a very good price.
The sharps are on this play. I like it. I'm gonna play it right now for a half a unit.
Yeah, I think that's worthy juice because personally, I don't think Ole Miss can keep up with Texas A&M's pace and scoring. Texas A&M's problem is their defense, but Ole Miss's problem is their offense. So I will always trust the bad offense to struggle no matter what. I've watched Ole Miss play, and they are not organized. They don't move the ball well, and if their shots aren't falling, that means they're not going to fall the rest of the game.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear you say that because almost all my plays today rely on good defense beating. Good defense is winning out. Rebounding and defense is what you need in any sport, especially. Well, I guess rebounding is pretty specific to basketball.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, I definitely agree with that, honestly. And I know sometimes people, the audience listening, it might be scared to do -160, but like I say is, that's usually my cutoff, but money is money at the end of the day. It may not be massive profit, but money is money, so.
Yeah, you can always throw it on Canada money line. They just scored. I don't know about just, but it's the second.
Oh yeah, pair everything with Canada money line right now.
That's pretty much what I was doing. I mean, the price.
Oh yeah, they're -800 now.
Yeah, the price is gone, but I hope you guys took it.
Oh no, I'm saying that was smart what you said. The double up that was -300 at one point, and you pair with USA -275.
Oh, that's a good look too. You can even get USA +1.5. And I think that's a pretty solid value there. You could probably still get
Yeah.
decent juice.
Perfect. And I would say another one is I know people will probably ask. I don't personally like Big East games, but Connecticut line has been interesting. It opened at 17.5 and already dropped to 15.5. I don't really like this necessarily this big number with Connecticut at home. Connecticut is a scary team to back to cover in conference, as everyone knows. They don't really cover much. But if you guys do want to look with Connecticut, right, the line drops more. Because I know I get asked about like Big East games and like especially UConn and St. John's games, right? You can always like what I like to do, and I've done it. You can pair their halftime full time with something else you like. I'm not gonna have a particular play in that, but I would 15.5 is a scary spread.
Yeah, anything. Oh, yeah, that's a scary one. Prince, your rule is, I think it's what, 12 or 13 in the NBA? It's got to be similar in college basketball too, right?
My rule in the NBA is 14 and a half. I won't go anything over 14 and a half for me.
Yeah, there it is.
For
And yeah, sorry, go on.
oh, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I took an over 14.5 spread yesterday. I did pare it down to -9.5 and lost on the hook. So I'm a little bit miffed about big spreads in college basketball.
Oh yeah.
I will say though. I'm sorry if I sound a little echoey. I'm in a different room right now. But NBA is different from college basketball. So in college basketball, I wouldn't have a problem laying a bigger spread because I think the disparity between some of the good teams and bad teams is obviously a lot bigger than in the NBA, where everyone's professionals. But yeah,
It's just hard to lay big spreads like that, especially in Power Five conference games versus like mid-major games. Like if you're facing Air Force, you always lay the spread. But when it's like two Power Five conference teams like Creighton and like you see like Creighton and what is it called? Connecticut, you get scared. I mean, unless you're Duke and you can cover anything you want. But that's how I see it. But I have a couple other ones to review that I know the listeners may be curious about. St. John's at Marquette. I think -9.5 might be too low, but like I said, Big East, you never know. Marquette has been particularly good lately at home, but I think St. John's is definitely going to want to. I think they're going to want to win this game. I can definitely see them winning this game for sure. I'm going to see if Marquette gains steam, and if they don't gain steam, I'm probably not going to do it. If they do gain steam, I'm going to see if the halftime full time line is what I like it. Yesterday, I didn't like how certain lines moved last night, so I didn't touch them. So I'll call that out later if I do it. And then
Oh, before you go,
Illinois. Yeah, go ahead.
I took St. John's in a money line parlay. I didn't post this last
Good.
night because I was dealing with all the Canada stuff and trying to see what lines could fit where. But we're going to come back to this one because I like St. John's money line as a parlay piece.
Oh yeah, definitely St. John's. Yeah, I love them. Oh, also, I don't know if you guys saw the Providence St. John's. I can talk about it after. That was one of the most insane things I've ever seen. But we can definitely talk about it after because I forgot to talk about it when it happened, and that's something we should definitely talk about what happened that game. But something also, I have to mention this game. It's my Jayhawks. Kansas at Oklahoma State. Kansas is only laying 6.5. I'm personally not going to bet the spread for this game for my team. I don't usually like betting on my own team, but I feel like that's too low at Oklahoma State. And Oklahoma State plays particularly well at home, but this is a great bounce back spot for Kansas after losing to Iowa State in their last game. And they're definitely going to want to try to win these games before they have to face Houston at home. I think Houston's the only really like extremely tough remaining piece in this. And Kansas is going to want to try to get a higher seed. They're basically a lock for the tournament at the end of the day. But I think Kansas should win this by a decent amount. I think they're going to be mad. And yeah.
Well, I hope they're not too mad because I'm on the under.
Hey, they can be mad and play great defense.
Yeah, 100% sure. That's on.
Oh, yeah, that
McMahon's
over-under is
model.
too high.
Yeah, it was. I took the under 156.5.
Yeah.
And again, that's Mike McClure and his model. I think he was on
Oh,
early
that's-
edge this morning playing that, and I definitely played that
Well,
for a full unit.
If you think about it, if it's 85-60, that still hits or something like that. So
Yeah.
take one of those.
Sounds like there's value on the spread too. Maybe you just take the money line and take even a more exaggerated total That looks
Yeah.
fun too. All right.
And then I have one more before I go to the Arkansas game. Illinois at USC is at 8 p.m. I'm gonna look to see. I really like Illinois in this spot. They've looked way better since they got Boswell back. I think Boswell is in a very important piece. Their offense runs smoother. I'm gonna one of those. I'll wait till the line moves. But the only one I was going to mention was the Arkansas game. But I didn't know if you want me to go analysis on that.
Yeah, I want one more game before we go there. Actually, two more
Okay.
games. I want to hear your opinion on Arizona versus BYU. This shouldn't be close. I just took Arizona on them as a money line parlay piece, just to kind of juice the other two positions. Should I be worried in any way, which way, shape, or form from BYU?
Oh no, I think Arizona definitely wins this game. No way they lose three in a row because I believe after this, I may be wrong, but I believe after this they have to play Houston or it's Texas Tech. But no, I wouldn't worry about it at all. Honestly, I think Arizona should definitely win this game. They've lost two in a row. Like they need to win this game. They can't just lose three straight. I don't necessarily know maybe about the spread because Arizona can be backdoor covered sometimes because 12.5 is steep, but I think they either beat BYU by 20 or they beat them by 10. We saw them beat them at their home. Honestly, the refs kind of let BYU back in the game, and it actually looked closer, much closer than it was, but BYU just looked outmatched that game.
Yeah, I didn't want to touch the spread either, but I had similar thoughts. And then I guess I'm going to hijack this for just 1 second. What about Florida Gulf Coast? That is my third leg of my money line parlay. I took St. John's money line, Arizona money line, and Florida Gulf Coast money line for minus 124 over on MGM. Sharp money's on this one. Defense is going to win out. They're much better in offensive efficiency. Does Jacksonville have a chance here? And then we can talk about the Arkansas game because that is also I have a best bet in that game too. Drew, you there or did I go off one more time?
I didn't realize I was
can hear
talking to
you, sir.
myself.
Been
No,
there.
but no, I like this in this matter because usually in these kind of games, like I like to mention with these like lower mid majors, because I believe it's the ASUN league, right? Let me look them up. Yeah, I believe Jacksonville's probably really bad on the road. I'm looking them up right now. Yeah, standings. They're 2-13 on the road. Remember, I mentioned this kind of about the ETOM thing. Remember when they were on the road? It's just then they got absolutely demolished. I like this idea of Florida Gulf Coast. Do you have them covering -7?
No, just in a money line parlay.
Oh yeah, I like
When the line came out, I think it was at -3.5 or -4.5, and I wanted to take it, but I didn't. I wanted to do more research first, and then when I did more research and
Oh.
came back, it moved to -7.5, and I said I can't justify that to myself. So I just found two other parlay pieces. Originally, I parlayed it with Canada -1.5, so that may or
Oh,
may
this
not come
tells me
in.
everything.
But I'm definitely taking them on the money line.
So did you see the last head-to-head matchup between them?
No,
So Florida Gulf Coast went to Jacksonville on January 31st and won 68-49.
gosh.
So
Well,
that tells me everything I need to know. If you
okay.
win by that much at their home, right, then that means what's going to happen when you're home. Like I don't see any revenge spot there. If it was like a 1-point game, I'd be worried, but it wasn't.
Yeah, not competitive at all. Okay, cool. Bring us into Arkansas. And just for the listeners, that is a best bet of mine. Arizona, St. John's, Florida Gulf Coast, -124.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, it's surprising that I think this is the best game of the day by far, in my personal opinion. And it's going to be one of the first games. I believe it's at 6:30 Eastern. I like Arkansas here. This spread is very weird at +4.5. I don't think it should be +4.5. I think it should be basically a pick 'em, in my opinion, because both these teams are even in many ways. And the fact that you can get Arkansas for +4.5 is kind of a steal, even at Bama, because like it should be a pick 'em with like Alabama being home court, because Arkansas is the better team metrically if you look at it. Alabama, though, I'll give Alabama credit. They have one of the toughest schedules in America. I think they're like top 3 or top 5 now. I don't think Alabama needs to win this to make the tournament. I think they'll make the tournament just based off their strength of schedule. But something though I was looking at when I was looking at the metrics, is there's a lot of instances where Alabama's strengths don't really punish the weaknesses of Arkansas. Um, so both of these teams, guys, and I can see a lot of points too. Both of these teams are top in the nation at like ball security, but Alabama doesn't force any turnovers. Arkansas does force turnovers actually at a decent rate, but Alabama is one of the worst teams in the nation at forcing them. So technically, you give Arkansas a slight advantage there. Both teams aren't great at rebounding, but Arkansas does have better rebounding. So this was the most interesting part of it is that Alabama goes to the free throw line a lot. Arkansas doesn't really foul. Arkansas doesn't go to the free throw line a lot, but Alabama fouls. So that gives the advantage to Arkansas in that case because Alabama's is going to be limited in that matter, right? In that aspect, and also the fact that this is one of the biggest keys I think, guys, to this game. There's two keys, just statistical things I saw is Arkansas has like in the SEC so far the best block rate in the SEC, while Alabama in the SEC gets blocked the most, and also the fact that Alabama relies heavily on the 3 point line. They're good when they drive, but they rely heavily on the 3 point line. I believe 42.5 per 42.5% of their points are from not 40.5, 42.5 points of how much they score. They average like 80 or so per game. Is from the 3 point line, and they're 16 the ace in the SEC at that. And Arkansas's biggest weakness is guarding the paint. So Alabama's going to have to drive this game. When Alabama does drive, they get blocked a lot, and Arkansas is great at that. And also Arkansas, they're one of the best at attacking the paint. But something you do need to look out though for Alabama, they're a very underrated defense. Their defensive efficiency is like I usually like look at effective field goal percentage defense because if you play fast, right, you're going to allow more points. Of course, like Alabama plays fast, and their rating's going to be worse. So Alabama is good at defending, but I don't see how they stop. To me, who I think is the best freshman in. Honestly, he might be the best player in the SEC, Darius Acuff. He's going to be a top draft pick. I love him a lot. And I see Arkansas possibly actually winning this game at Alabama. They've been way better on the road. I think Arkansas only has like 3 SEC losses. Alabama has 4. And Arkansas has been coming to their own in that matter.
Yeah, so this is best bet of mine. Arkansas plus 4.5 at -110 over on Caesars. And you already said it. Defense and rebounding should give them the advantage, while their offensive metrics kind of say that they're going to be able to keep up with Alabama's offensive efficiency. I don't see a world where the defensive and rebounding advantage loses here. And if they do lose, I expect them to keep it within 1.5 possessions. So getting a 4.5 on the spread here, I think is, like you said, a gift. And I'll take it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say something real quick. Something I'm going to let know for the viewers. They priced this over under, right, guys? So I would stay away from it. 1.5 is too scary to take the over and too scary to take the under. So they priced it right. I was hoping they priced it 170, but they didn't.
Yeah, that's an interesting look as well. I think I have the under there as just a model play, which is always a quarter unit for me. If I'm saying that, unless I upgrade it on my own, because I specifically like that matchup. But if I'm getting 5 or more points of value, I just blindly.
Oh, yeah,
take
definitely.
it.
Oh, yeah. I would say it'll be scary to put like a unit or something on, I would say.
Yeah, no. Nothing
Just-
crazy like that. Anything else in college basketball before we move on to golf,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is I'm very excited to get into.
So, can you mind if I say some college basketball news?
Dude, go. You
so-
are a full-on co-host, bro.
Yeah.
You do what you need to do.
Yes. Sorry, I'm talking for a while, but this is very important news, especially what happened at Texas Tech. We actually had a lot of upsets yesterday. We had St. Louis lost. So, like, of course, shout out to Miami for staying undefeated. People were doubting them. I didn't doubt them. I believed in them. And beginning of the day, we had no upsets. Like Michigan won, Miami, Ohio won. And then all of a sudden, we see St. Louis lose to Rhode Island. We see Nevada lose to San Diego State. San Jose State. We see San Diego State lose to Grand Canyon. we see VCU as I think I don't know if VCU ended up winning. They came back or not. Let me see. They came back and won by double digits. That's crazy. But then we saw Texas Tech lose to Arizona State. But there was a key factor in it. JT Toppin, probably the best player in the Big 12, you can argue, last year, and he's their best player on Tech. They could have won that game, and he hurt his knee. He has a lower leg injury. We don't know he's gonna have this season. That'll be a tough blow for Texas Tech. So yeah, that's sad on that part. But something I want to go into is I don't know if you guys saw the Providence St. John's game. There was like 5 or 6 ejections in that game. There's somebody named Bryce Hopkins that used to play for Providence. He drove to the hoop, and then Powell for Providence had one of the most dirtiest plays. You guys should look it up, where he just wrapped his hand around his face, pushed him down, slammed him to the ground, and then he started throwing punches. He got ejected. I hope he gets suspended for a very long time, because I don't like that. Sometimes you see these college players and stuff think they're invincible because on the court. Because they need to realize you can get actually arrested for those kind of things, and what he did, it was inexcusable. But then there was other people that were involved, and there was like 5 or 6 ejections. So it'll be interesting to see the suspensions and appeals that come with that. But if you guys haven't seen it, I would definitely suggest to watch it. Everyone's okay. That's why I'm suggesting to watch it. No one's severely hurt or anything. Everybody got up pretty much. So if you guys definitely want to see that kind of thing, you should just type in Providence St. John's, and that'll be the first thing that pops up.
Yeah, I'll go take a look at that after. That's pretty wild. I did see that there was some kind of hubbub, but busy with the kids, it's hard to get into every single thing that happens, you know. But that's wild. That is wild, and I didn't know that you could really get into real trouble because of the antics on the court, unless your
Yeah,
name
if you
is
actually throw punches, like if you throw punches and you like land and you hurt someone, you can get kind of like a lawsuit in the way for that kind of thing. If the player decides to press charges, that's something I learned.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. That whole thing about pressing charges is just crazy to me. That whatever, whole different ball game and different podcast. Anything else in college basketball before we move on to golf?
No, the only thing I would say, definitely enjoy the slate that's coming up. I'm happy. One of the best games is the beginning of the day, which is the Arkansas game.
Yeah, that's going to be definitely a highlight that I am going to be keeping my eye on. But yeah, let's move into the Genesis Invitational. We're going to be recapping, or I guess capping, some PGA. By no means am I a real expert here, but I do follow Sienna Jad, Mike McClure, and a few other golf experts, and I'm going to bring what I glean from them for my own spots without copying their picks exactly.
Hey, Moj.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you
Oh,
off.
sorry, Mike. What's up?
I just wanted to get your guys' opinion. I got Arkansas at plus 5.5, and I just wanted your thoughts. I got it at 115.
Drew, that's on you, man.
Oh, what was the team you got?
I got Arkansas at 5.5 for minus 115. Thoughts?
Oh yeah, I love that. We were just talking about the Arkansas game. We talked about how much we love the Arkansas, and we think we can possibly win the game. The metrics point towards this as massive edge value. My model says this is like 4 to 5 points of value, which I love taking. I love taking anything that's like 3 or more, especially. And I just think Arkansas is, to me personally, the better team metrically, and it's a bad matchup for Bama.
Was that it, Mike? I'm always confused when I'm not sure if my internet.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and you everyone more than welcome to come on the show. Just request to speak, and we'll bring you on. But yeah, I want to go into the Genesis Invitational again. Like I was saying, I'm learning just like all of you. So I'm going to bring in some of the things that I'm learning about. But it really seems to me that looking at the players' records here, that course history is extremely important here. And so is your approach, shots gained on approach. For these reasons, combined with the fact that the best player in the world had just the absolute worst round ones 2 weeks in a row, I don't think it's going to happen again. Give me Scotty Scheffler at plus 340 over on FanDuel to win it all here. All of the experts that I'm following are taking these markets without Scotty Scheffler. And if you're willing to take 1,000 or 2,000 odds against yourself just to take Scotty Scheffler out of the field, I think that speaks volumes to the level of play that he is on. And I absolutely love him to win it here. If he just has an average round one, I think he crushes this field. I don't see anybody else who's really able to compete here. Obviously, Rory McIlroy is going to be up there as well. But that brings me into my next play as well, which is a top finish parlay. This is not something that I've played before, so feel free to play it or take a half unit or however you want to play it. But I love Scotty Scheffler top 20, parlayed with Rory McIlroy top 30 and Cameron Young top 40. Each of these players is on an upward trajectory. They all finished within the top 30, their respective markets in the last few weeks. And I think that this is a quote unquote safe type of play here, backing the two best players in all of golf nowadays, and a third really nice runner up. So I really like that value. And then the last play I have in the PGA this weekend is Matt Fitzpatrick over Harris English. Both of them have similar floors, according to my model here. But Fitzpatrick has such a higher ceiling. He is playing so well. He had, I think, a tied for 12th last week. He's top 20 in the last few weeks. English hasn't been playing bad himself, but he hasn't crossed that top 20 mark yet. And he does not have any experience really here. He has the lowest course fit on any of the golfers that I have here today. And Fitzpatrick is absolutely elite on shots gained on approach. So if there's going to be difficult scoring conditions, I like the analytical mind of Matt Fitzpatrick over Harris English. Do either of you guys have any thoughts on that one? I'll take that as a no.
No, I agree with you, the Scotty aspect. I saw by the way, on DK, there was a boost that you can do, the end of round one leader. Like, you can get Scotty Scheffler for like plus 1,400 for end of round one leader. And I was like, I might do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would say that I would need maybe a plus 2,000 number there to make that interesting to me to play for any real amount of money. Just because while I do expect him to regress positively in round one, you do have to take into account that he has struggled each of the last two tournaments, especially with his iron play. So I think what we're doing is we're just expecting an average round one. You know, I would look at McIlroy. I'm not going to give all of Sienejad's first round leaders because you got to go follow him for that. That's something that's I follow every single week. He's made me a lot of money in the past on that, on those. But Scotty Scheffler, round one leader, less sure of than taking his insane golf skills over the course of 4 rounds to really win it. But I don't think it's a bad look. And honestly, I would take a top 5 market there for less money, and I would feel a little bit more comfortable there.
Yeah, I'll say something real quick. I don't really have any thoughts on this per se, but I use that same boost, that DK boost. I put it on Sepp Straka. I don't know. He's been competitive recently, but I mean, it's an absolute, it's a complete dart throw for me. So I wouldn't tell it unless you feel the same. But I just wanted to use the boost, so I used it. But no, that's all I got.
Hey, remind us who
Yeah,
your
I'm
dart
gonna
throw
put
was.
0.1 units.
Nice. Remind us who your dart throw was last week in Live, because that almost came through.
Oh man, he choked. Yeah, it was Bryson DeChambeau. I picked him to win it. Win the Live Golf. Was in Adelaide down in Australia. He was plus 600 at the time. He went on an incredible run. He was blowing out the field. He was up by about 3 or 4 strokes, I want to say, on John Rahm, who was second at the time. And then on the final day, DeChambeau just completely choked. He went 2 over par. And the winner ended up actually being was it Anthony Kim, I believe is his name. He actually shot 9 under on the last day of the tournament. So he ended up winning, running away. But yeah, we almost had it. That was a tough
Just
break.
wild.
But
I was rooting for you.
yeah, that's wild. But That's throwing darts, so whatever. Sometimes it's fun to throw a dart here and there. Nothing crazy, but, we'll see.
Yeah, 100%. All right. We've been on long enough. I didn't realize the time. Drew, recap us with your best bets today.
Yeah, my best bets for today, right as of right now, is just it's Auburn halftime, full time. You can get like -105 on DK right now, and then I'll post anything later if I notice certain things gain steam.
I love it. I am on a college basketball parlay. I have a few plays today, so stick with me. Florida Gulf Coast money line, Arizona money line, St. John's money line -124 over on MGM. In golf, I am on Scotty Scheffler to win it all. Genesis Invitational plus what was it, 340. I took. Oh gosh, I just lost my notes. That's terrible. I have Matt Fitzpatrick over Harris English. I love him to get it done. I honestly, I think he's a really good one and done person to play to this weekend, or just a top finish in general. And then I have a top finish parlay: Scotty Scheffler top 20, Rory McIlroy top 30, and Cameron Young top 40. I got that at -106 over on DK. Keep in mind that a lot of other books do not allow you to parlay those. They want you to take the make the cut parlay. Which is also fun. But if any of these players make the cut, you guys better believe that they're going to be in the top of the field. And then again, in Olympic hockey, I like the USA 60-minute money line. I don't mind parlaying Canada's full game money line with USA's full game money line, if that is still available to you. And then Arkansas +4.5, -110, bury the lead there. And then don't forget about my soccer play this Saturday: Bayern Munich, Frankfurt, BTTS, and over 2.5 goals. Prince of Picks, finish us off, bro.
Yep, I'm going to make this real quick, guys. So I'm about to enter a car wash here, so you're not going to be able to hear me here in a little bit. So real quick, let me go ahead and sign us out, guys. Recap on my plays. I got Arsenal money line with a clean sheet +105. And I'm also on AC Milan double chance over 1.5 goals, parlayed with Winter Thursday Galen over 1.5. You're going to get that at +107. For all of us here at OnlyBets Sports Podcast, alongside my co-host SternBets and DrewDelucchi, I am Prince of Picks. We hope to see you guys tonight for our Europa League Conference League preview show. But until then, we will see you soon. Thanks, everyone.